Martin Guitar Company has a long history with more than 181 years of photos, correspondence, financial records, invoices, ledgers, and more. Together, these pieces of ephemera tell a story of a remarkable company that is an iconic American brand name and played a crucial role in the development of music in America. This valuable resource sheds light on Martin family history, the way the American flat-top acoustic guitar was created, and offers insights into the day-to-day history of one of the world's oldest family-owned companies. The Martin archives have been a work in progress for much of the past 5 decades. The first person to put serious time and effort into creating the archives was Martin employee and researcher Mike Longworth.
I don't think there's enough that we can say about Mike Longworth. Mike played such a significant role in preserving the history of the company. When he came to the company in 1967, he took a tremendous interest in every aspect of the history and worked with C.F. Martin III on the production of his book, Martin Guitars: A History. And he gathered serial number information from basically the beginning of serial numbers in 1898 all the way up through present day, with what models, specifications, basically the framework of the history of the company from 1833 to present day.
The contents of the archives were greatly expanded in the mid-1990s when dozens of crates and boxes were discovered in the attic of Martin's former factory on North Street in Nazareth, Pennsylvania. Martin employee and archivist Dick Boak and 2 authors explored a treasure trove of material, much of it dating back to the company's earliest years.
And in the far back section of the upper attic, we found about 12 boxes covered in Brazilian rosewood sawdust. As we opened them up, there were bundles of correspondences wrapped in burlap, and we couldn't believe it. We cut one of them open and found letters from the 1830s and the 1840s. And as we got into it and transferred these documents over to Sycamore Street to look at them and inspect them, we realized what a treasure trove we had.
Suddenly, there were thousands of more documents, photos, and letters and other pieces of Martin family history that needed to be sorted, scanned, and archived. Help arrived when researcher and author Greg Hutton spent 3.5 years organizing about 200,000 documents. Other researchers like Richard Johnson, Jim Washburn, and Philip Giora examined and deciphered thousands more documents while doing research for books about Martin. The archive contains more than 500,000 documents. They tell a nearly 2-century-old story that begins with one creative, talented craftsman and shows how Martin became one of the most important guitar makers in the world. One of the more enlightening things in the archive is a film shot in 1939 when Martin's hometown of Nazareth celebrated its 2nd century.
I got a phone call from the Nazareth Library saying I better get down there right away. They found a film canister marked Martin Guitar. On the film was about 5 minutes of footage taken at the old North Street plant. I was just amazed that this even existed. We have no film footage whatsoever, no movies from this time period. So seeing this old footage was just unbelievable.
A large section of the archive holds documents and photos regarding the Martin family. It contains the earliest known photo of C.F. Martin, as well as illustrations of the Martin family home in Germany.
One of the oldest documents in our archives is the Masonic passport that C.F. Martin Sr. brought with him from Markneukirchen, Germany, when he emigrated in 1833.
The archive contains a voluminous amount of material from artists, including photos and letters. Many have important historical value for future generations.
Recently, we've found letters from Mother Maybelle Carter, correspondences with Jimmy Rogers, a number of different artists, certainly all of the vendors and businesses of the day that sold us wood and materials for the guitars, and also a tremendous amount of correspondences from the customers themselves, writing in to inquire about whether they could have something special done. Letters from Gene Autry about his varied guitars that he was having custom built.
My shipment received in good condition and am enclosing 50 cents in stamps for same. I have used several guitars in vaudeville, radio, and other entertainings, and I prefer a Martin to any of them. And if at any time my instrument is broken or needs new varnishing, I would like to return it to the factory for repairs. Thank you for the past favor. I am yours truly, Gene Autry.
There are hundreds of antique photos of musicians, both known and unknown. Musicians who played Martin guitars who are now long forgotten, but live on in the archives. These old photographs demonstrate how Martin has been integral to American music and how music has changed over the decades.
We were successful in acquiring literally thousands of photographs of Martin guitar players, both famous and amateur, from the dawn of photography to present day.
You can get a glimpse into the day-to-day working life of Martin through the archive. You can see what type of wood was ordered in March of 1876 or any other time, and how much was paid for it. Photos of the tools craftsmen used and the way the factory was set up offers a look at the various ways guitars were assembled through the years. You can trace how the business grew and expanded through dealers and distributors. The archives show how business was done in post-colonial America.
These beautiful journals record every individual transaction that Martin did in business, both in New York and subsequently in Nazareth. You can see how much he charged, what he was selling, who his customers were. It's an incredible record.
Author Peter Zago and a team of researchers have used the archive to flesh out theories about how the American flat-top acoustic guitar was developed. Documents uncovered in 2006 shed light on when Martin introduced X-bracing to the body of his guitar, a key design component. Letters found in the archive show that C.F. Martin built a guitar in 1843 for Madame Dolores de Goni, an exquisitely talented Spanish classical guitar player. It is the first documented X-braced guitar, a Martin innovation that became a standard in guitar manufacturing and led to the creation of the American flat top. The archives have greatly expanded in size and scope under Dick Boak. He's helped to add tens of thousands of documents over the past few decades, but many others have contributed to make the archives an invaluable tool for researchers.
I think building upon what we have and fortifying it and preserving it for the next decade, the next century.
Today, most key documents have been cataloged, but perhaps there are more stories waiting to be told.
We're going to be around a long time making guitars, and this is certainly one of the most significant family-owned company archives in America.